Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Glasgow Rangers Nation Sunday supplement. We all love a Sunday supplement. We all love a bit of extra weight in those papers, don't we? To just put our back out as we go down to the local shop to get ourselves our Sunday reads. Well, we're going to talk obviously about yesterday's friendly game, pre-season friendly between Rangers and Ajax of Amsterdam. Took a look at not just we're going to break the game down. We'll talk about the positives, we'll talk about the negatives, we'll talk about the players, we'll talk about the injuries. But do you know what? We're going to talk about as well. We're going to talk about the mystery. We're going to talk about the Scooby-Doo-esque. Where are Tav and Todd? Where are they? Where have they gone to? Have they been abducted by the monster? Who knows? We'll get to the bottom of that. Anyway, look, we'll touch on Tav and Todd. We're going to try and find out what the situation is with them, talk a little bit around that. Please hang on for that. That is coming up very, very shortly. So Rangers took on Ajax Amsterdam yesterday, and unfortunately we lost the game 2-1. The only goal for Rangers coming from a fantastic free kick from Tom Lawrence. Interesting that, isn't it? Let someone else take a set piece and they score a goal. Interesting. Maybe we've learned something there. And also the fact that he's a midfield player, not a fullback. So do fullbacks have to take set pieces? Obviously not. There we go. Obviously, please, guys, help us hit that 6K so that as soon as possible, smash that sub. And we're also going to be putting together a little bit of a prize for a randomly selected viewer. If we can hit 10,000 subs by the 31st of December this year, that's obviously 4,000 and a bit. I can't remember how many, 3,000, I know, 4,000 and a bit. If we can hit that ASAP, that would be absolutely fantastic. Anyway. Right, so what were the positives of the game yesterday? So let's deal with the first fact. It was a workout. That's the basic thing. It was a chance for the players to get some minutes in their legs. Some players looked more ready than others. Some players looked fitter than others. Some players looked more closer to first team action than others. That's just the way preseason goes. I think, the result, yes, a defeat, any sort of defeat when you're a Rangers fan, it's very disappointing. We don't like to lose. We don't like to be defeated. So, yeah, that's obviously disappointing. But I think we've got to remember Ajax are a week further on in their prep for the new season. They've been back a week longer than us. They're obviously preparing for the Europa League qualifiers at the end of July. We're obviously preparing for the Champions League qualifiers at the start of August. So there is a little bit of a push ahead there. They've got a substantially more valuable squad than we have. They've spent a bit more money than us. So they're that little bit further on. They also have the Italian Mourinho in Francesco Farioli. So look, let's not take that. They're a very good side. They pass the ball very well. They hold possession of the ball very well. They prompt very well. They play some good stuff. Although I think, one thing you've got to all admit out there is that both the goals they scored were gifts, absolute gifts from us. I mean, the first one, Connor Goldson commits the ultimate schoolboy error. He turns his back on the ball when running back, and they take advantage by playing in behind him. Jack Butland comes flying out, brings down his man, then again, he commits a schoolboy error, doesn't play to the whistle. Ajax carry on playing, score a goal, and the game obviously goes to 1-0 Ajax. We get that equaliser through Tom Lawrence, a fantastic free kick. And then Jack Butland commits a uncharacteristic howler, diving over the top of the ball from a free kick for a player who arguably shouldn't have even been on the pitch. Why? Because this was the tackle that he committed before that incident. Now, he basically takes Nico Raskin out from behind, a scissor tackle on Raskin. Now, look, if you endanger your opponent, if you are out of control, if you are doing what he did, basically, which is a scissor tackle from behind, you are running the risk of getting yourself sent off. And that's what would have happened, I think, had it been a more competitive game. But I think if anyone is to blame for this, it was the referee, because he allowed far too much to go before he started brandishing yellow cards right, left, and centre. I think the ref had a really awful game. Raskin, bad news about Nicholas Raskin. I think, we were all looking forward to seeing, hopefully, the best of Raskin this coming season. I think we were all, secretly impressed with what he did at the end of last season. He's probably one of our best players on the field in the cup final. Push aside, the season, obviously, that he joined, he was very good. And I think a lot of us were looking forward to seeing Raskin play. He's got legs, he runs well, he goes box to box, he uses the ball well. And he gets this unfortunate injury. And obviously last season, he missed an awful lot of time through injury. But look, this is an injury that, you can't put down to fitness. You can't put down to strength and conditioning. You can't put down to poor preparation. This is an injury that is sustained because someone took him out. Bad news, obviously, that he left in a moon boot. That's never a good sign. Apparently, he did something to his ankle. I mean, it could be torn ankle ligaments. It could be sprained ankle ligaments. It could be anything. So, look, what you want to do is you want to come out of any preseason friendlies, any preseason games with no injuries. And obviously, Raskin leaving in a moon boot is far from ideal. We don't know the full extent of the injury yet. Philippe Clement talked about it post-match, but you've got to say the tackle was ultimately very, very reckless indeed. I've got to say, very impressed with Liam Kelly. Look, I'm not saying that he's going to take over Jack Butland's spot. I think Jack Butland's got more than enough credit in the bank to be the number 1 for next season, unless he's, of course, sold. Liam Kelly, I thought, was absolutely fantastic, pulling off 2 absolute worldies. 2 brilliant saves. One where he readjusts his position, goes back the other way, tip it over. There's another chance later on as well where he gets there, tips it wide. I think he did. He was absolutely brilliant. Liam Kelly was absolutely fantastic. He was one of my nominees for man of the match. I thought he did very, very well indeed. What was really encouraging as well is when the youth players came on late in that second half. Cole McKinnon came on, Ross McCausland, Alex Lowry, some of those guys, Finley Curtis, people like that. They all looked very impressive. They worked very hard. In fact, they improved the press to some degree. Their energy was excellent. Big shout out to Alex Lowry, who I thought was creative, tried to use the ball well, was obviously often looking for clever passes. I thought Lowry did well. The more I watch Lowry today, the more I actually think that this lad could have a role to play this season, in the first team. I'm not saying start by any stretch of the imagination, but coming off the bench, I think he can have an impact. He looks a good footballer. I think it's something we've all known, that Alex is a good footballer. It's just that he's kind of had enough personal issues off the field. He's had a few other bits and pieces of problems around his attitude to the game. And hopefully we're over those now. And hopefully Philippe Clement can get into him, can kind of bring him back down to earth, can kind of get him really focused on the fact that he's in a crucial part of his career. If you think he messes this up, what career is he going to have? This is a lad who is so talented, who could realistically be a star of the future if he applies himself. You know what? You don't want to be sitting 10 years from now, Alex Lowry, and saying, if I'd done this, if I'd done that. Go out and do it, my friend. Go out and do it. I thought Connor Barron was absolutely excellent. Again, that's Alex Lowry again. I thought Connor Barron was really, really good. I think he played very well indeed. I thought he looked like a sort of fit Ryan Jack. He got around the pitch well. He got stuck in well. If he did lose the ball, he went and got it back. He distributed the ball well. And the thing was, the kind of revolutionary thing that I think John Lundstrom seemed to fail to get hold of last season was when he won the ball, his first thought was not pass it sideways or pass it back. It was pass it forwards, get the attack going. Win the ball, pass it forward. Win the ball, pass it forwards. I mean, it was almost revolutionary. But, excellent. I thought Barron was very, very good indeed. Players that stood out for me, I thought that Dujon Sterling was very good at right back. I thought that Alex Lowry did well. I thought Tom Lawrence did well in the 10 role. I thought that who else did well in the game? Diamande, I thought, played very well indeed. Liam Kelly did well. My man of the match, though, was Connor Barron. I thought he was very, very good. Very, very good yesterday. And I think, he follows up on his very good performance against Standard Liège. He clearly is a very talented footballer. And I do hope that Clement gives him an opportunity to start going forward. Other positive news, obviously, was Danilo got some minutes. I thought Dessers was very poor today. He couldn't stay on side. One chance he got, he missed. Surprise, surprise. Didn't hold the ball up well. Was muscled off the ball quite easily. Wasn't very impressed at all with Dessers today. Thought he was very, very poor. Danilo, good to see him on. Hopefully we can get some more minutes out of him. We can sort of get him back into being our first choice striker. Post game, this is what Philippe Clement had to say. Well, this is a sample of what Philippe Clement had to say. It was interesting test. That is what we want. Difficult test in the preparations. This was a game on a European level against a good team. And we knew also that they had been longer in preparations because they have qualifying games. It was a really good test, and I saw a lot of interesting and positive things. When pressed on what was positive, he talked very much about the fact that chance creation was good. Just obviously we didn't put the ball in the back of the net. Same old, same old. I think takeaways from this game is we have some good players coming through. We have some good players, in the squad already. That's the positives. Negatives, I think there is a lot of work still needs doing on the defence. I thought all 4 central defenders that played today, Goldson, Davis, Balogun and Suter were all very poor indeed. I thought second half, obviously, Liam Kelly, if he hadn't made those saves, the score could have been a lot heavier. I thought Connor Goldson was absolutely appalling today. 2 out of 10 at best. He's turned off. He was caught out of position. He was just genuinely dreadful, carrying on from the god-awful performances he gave towards the end of last year. But like I said, look, the positive is we got some minutes out of this. We got some fitness into this. Hopefully, we've learned a little bit more about which players we can rely on and which players we can't rely on going forward. Overall, Conor Barron, man of the match. I thought that, definitely thought he was the best player on the park. Okay, so look, when the team was announced and the squad was announced, basically when the squad was announced, the team was announced and the subs were announced, I think the same question reverberated around everybody's brain in the stadium, in the press box, watching the game at home, any Rangers fan, any member of the media reporting on the game. Where are James Tavernier and Todd Cantwell? Now, pre-match, I haven't seen all the post-match stuff yet, but pre-match, Clement wasn't even questioned about it by the Rangers TV woman. He wasn't asked about it at all, almost like she'd been told, don't you dare ask. Cortez was obviously taken out of the firing line because they didn't want him risking after a number of months of injury, which is fair enough. You can see that. And obviously, hopefully, be fit for the Manchester United game, which can be live watch along again here next Saturday on this channel. So obviously, please watch that. So look, overall, in terms of that was interesting, that squad selection. That there was no James Tavernier, there was no Todd Cantwell. Obviously, no Zach Lovelace either, but people are less concerned about that one. And the big question is, where is Todd Cantwell? Where is James Tavernier? Why were they not named in the squad? Now, neither of them featured against Standard Liège during the week. Neither of them were named on the bench. I must admit, when I read the team when it first came out, I was shocked to see Sterling in there, shocked to see Cantwell at least not on the bench. Now, according to reports coming out of the club, they are both injured. That's the rumour. But have trained on Friday. He's been on the exercise bike. I'm sure I've seen photographs and video footage of Todd Cantwell training. So it kind of begs the question, what the hell is going on with Tav and with Cantwell? Why are they not being picked? It just seems exceptionally suspicious that it's only really them. I mean, yes, you can think about Zach Lovelace. Yes, you can think about Bailey Rice, but they're not regular first teamers. Todd Cantwell and James Tavernier are. So why are they not being picked? What is the issue? Are they really injured? Who knows? Now, obviously, there's been a lot of exit rumours around Tav and around Cantwell. Now, Lammers was left at home with the B team. But, looking at that, like I said, you couldn't really leave Tav and Golden with the B team. I think that would cause far too much uproar. I think you need them fit. You need them ready to go because, look, if you're going to sell them, then you need them in a peak condition so teams, are happy to buy them. I'll be honest with you. I genuinely don't believe he is injured that is coming out of the club. I think there is something going on. I think there is a chance that people are putting in bids for these two players. I think there are teams sniffing around Todd Cantwell. There are teams sniffing around James Tavernier. I think, the Saudi window obviously opens Wednesday next week. I think there's definitely something going on, and perhaps Rangers are protecting these players to make sure that they don't get injured, but are still training them to make sure they are fully fit so they are attractive to the buying club. It just seems kind of too convenient that both of them suddenly get injured on the back of a lot of stories coming in around them exiting the club. It's very suspicious. It's very suspicious. And to be told, like I said, that they're injured, I don't know. It just kind of, I smell a rat. I smell a rat. Look, if it's the case that Rangers are going to sell to buy, I think there's a lot of debate in the live chat yesterday before the live stream of the game, the live watch along, about, whether or not we haven't got any money to spend, whether or not it's all down to us bringing in players. Look, I think some of it could have been lost in translation with what Philippe Clement said when he talked a little bit about the fact that, without money coming into the club, it's difficult to buy players. People automatically read that as without selling players, we can't buy players. I think the truth lies somewhere in between. I think there's probably a bit of money knocking around. I do think we have to sell to buy. I do think we have to raise funds through selling players. I do also think the squad is way too big at 30. I think the wage bill is way too big as well. These are all things that need to be trimmed and addressed. And I think that's what, you know, that they're trying to do at this moment in time, what the board are trying to do, and maybe also, you know, Niels Koppen is trying to do. But there's just something suspicious about the whole thing for me. There's something not quite right about it. There's something a little bit fishy, shall we say, about the whole saga, that neither of them have been on the bench at all. Neither of them are, you know, involved in the match day squad. They're all sat in the stands watching when they've been training. I don't know. Perhaps I'm putting 2 and 2 together here and getting 5. Perhaps I'm over egging the situation, but it does seem to me that there is something afoot with Todd and with James. Now, look, if it is that they're going to be sold, fair enough. Fair enough. You know, the money will be useful if we can get decent amounts of money for both of them. I think, you know, we're in a cycle now where every player has his price. You know, I don't think Rangers can put any players on the unsaleable market. I think there is a case that, you know, if someone comes in with a substantial bid for one of our players, it could often be too good to turn down. You know, if someone was to come in with, say, 15, 20 million pound for Butland, I genuinely think the board look at it. I don't think they'll go, no, not happening. They will look at it. So I think personally, there's something not quite right there. There's something going on. There's something a bit suspicious about the whole thing. I might be completely wrong. You know, it might be that they actually are injured and they're not going to feature because, you know, Clement wants to be careful with them. And they'll both start the Man United game next Saturday, and all this will be a thing of the past. But I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. You know, given the fact that I think that the manager today wanted to use some of his more supposed first team strength players. Given the fact the manager wanted to rotate the squad, I think, you know, he would have used them had they, you know, if there hadn't been a reason why he couldn't. Now, there's always a risk of injuring a player. If a player gets injured at pre-season friendly, pointless, and could cost you a lot of money if you're then going to go on and sell them. So I definitely think there's something going on there. I genuinely don't believe that they're both injured line. I think a lot will sort of iron itself out over the coming week. I think it'll be very interesting, the team that starts against Manchester United on the 20th. Obviously, live stream here on the channel. Please come and join us for that. Guys, let me know your theories on Todd and Tav. Where are they? What are they up to? Let's keep it sensible. Let's not put out they've gone to Bali together or something like that, or they've gone to Clydebank together, or they've gone to sunbathing. I don't know. You know, let's keep it realistic. Okay, guys, thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation this morning, guys. We'll obviously be back later with the final word. Come and join us for that. Thank you for watching. Please, obviously, on the way out, do me 2 favors. Number 1, smash that like. Number 2, remember always, we are the people.